Hey, it's Nicole from outerinnerspace, and this video is about Aquarius energy and ESP, so how extrasensory perception could manifest for Aquarius energy. So you can watch this for any Aquarius placements you have, for 11th house energy, or wherever Aquarius is in your natal chart, because we all have an expression of Aquarius somewhere in our chart, and we've also all got an 11th house. So this series has been designed so that you can watch all the videos and overlay the concepts and construct an image of how extrasensory perception can manifest for you, because it's my feeling that we all have extrasensory perception, but quite often it's so subtle and unconscious and natural that we don't realize that's what it is and how important a role it plays in our experience. And my feeling is that if we lean into these subtle senses, then we can embody a fuller experience here on Earth and access these subtle realms in order to navigate our path and encompass more of who we are in totality. So for Aquarius, extrasensory perception has this influence of Uranus and Saturn. And if you watch the Capricorn video, I talk about how with Saturn energy and ESP, it has this slow release. Well, with Uranus energy, it has this burst level as well. So it's kind of a combination of both, in that some things are slow release and won't be revealed until a certain time, and other things will come all at once. And it's very non-linear. In time, you'll be able to piece these details together, because chances are with Uranus energy and with Aquarian vibes is that information is coming from many different timelines, from future timelines, from past timelines, and it also has a lot to do with the frequency that you're emitting and receptive to as well with Aquarius energy, and the symbol being the waves. That is about vibration and frequency and being both a receiver and a transmitter of energy and these waves. And I talk about this more in the ESP notes, which are linked below, but there can be instances when you're in alignment with your authentic frequency, and in that moment you're very conducive to receiving insights and complete thought packages. But then there are times when your energy is in a different kind of frequency, and that can result in messages becoming partial or becoming warped a little bit as well. So it has a lot to do with how you feel as an entity and whether or not you feel like you're in harmony with yourself and with your spirit and with the body, and if you're operating in integrity with all that you are and all that you hope to be. And then that will be a determination of how these messages come in. Then it's kind of up to you to piece these details together and figure out what the message is, and Aquarians love a puzzle. So there are many ways ESP can manifest, and it's multi-layered, and the idea is that you don't fix it into one construct, because it's the opposite of that. It's like all of it. So it's kind of like in the movie The Arrival with the heptapods, and how they don't have to write a sentence from beginning to end in this linear fashion. They produce a circle all at once, and that creates the message. So this is like how Aquarius receives these impulses and these intuitions. And I kind of feel that this is why Aquarians need a lot of time alone, because their frequency is so unique and these imprints are so complete often that it's a lot to process. And the logic, I mean, you understand it, but potentially communicating it becomes difficult, because then you have to convert it into language, and that shifts the frequency. And so it takes the insight of an Aquarius mind in order to circulate around these energies and these impressions, and it takes solitude to be able to do this in a way that creates a space to do it, really. One thing for Aquarius energy, in order to enhance these abilities, is to understand how your body is receiving these impressions, and grounding practices, time out in nature, detoxing from tech. And I know that's ironic because Aquarius is the 11th house, future, technology and all that stuff. But your body is a natural organism. You're not a robot yet. And so it is key, in order to enhance these abilities and really ground what you're receiving, to develop that relationship to your natural self, and understanding that your body is working in natural cycles too. It can really help with transcribing the messages that you receive and what it is that you're here to do. I think because Aquarius energy is running on such a unique frequency and this very specific vibration that's kind of similar to like a gamma wave when you're thinking about brain waves. It's really fast and it's multi-layered. Like, it's never really just like one thing that you're thinking about at once. It's so much subtext and it's so many factors being drawn in that it can be really quick. And if we're not connected to the body, and if we don't feel that we have a position here on earth and a sense of groundedness, this can lead us to being very in our minds to the point that we're shut off from sensations of the body and factors that the nervous system are indicating towards us, and that is valuable data. And if we can work to integrate all these systems, then when it comes to translating messages, when it comes to piecing together the insights that we're getting, and when it comes to using that information to better ourselves and better our communities, then it can happen in a more cohesive state. And so that's why it's really important for Aquarius energy to develop that relationship with the body as well, and with the input that is coming not just from like logic, but it's coming from the body as a mind, if that makes sense. I talk more about this in my body as an antenna notes, and I've linked those below because it talks about how your whole field is a collection of memories and imprints and motion and information, and this vibration, it goes out into the field and it interacts with these other energies. And in order to make sure that our message, our vibration is clearly communicated, if you feel that you're misunderstood, chances are there's an energetic discord in your field. And so tuning to the body and the sensations in the body can really help refine your message and just how you operate in the field, where your body becomes the message itself, your essence becomes the message. One thing for Aquarius energy is to tune into the ankles and the shins, and so slowing down your pace and getting out of the mind and breathing into these areas of the body can really help your energy, and adjusting the pace accordingly. It just means you can breathe a little better, and that's key. And one thing that you can do to refine the body and enhance the field is to tune into the opposite energy of Leo and connect to the heart and the waves that you're giving off around the heart. If you feel any blockages around the heart, any kind of need to feel protective of it, then it's indicating that there is an energy in the body that hasn't been processed yet, a wave that has been absorbed, which is stuck within you until you're at a point where you are able to process the situation, or whatever is the root of that wave, whatever is the cause of that. And it's my feeling that any kind of discord in our energy is the absorption of energy that is out of alignment with our own authentic frequency. And until we have a look at this stuff and feel what it is that needs to be felt, because it's a sensation that's asking for our attention, any blocks in the body, any pain, any sense of numbness, my feeling is that it's a wave stuck in us that doesn't belong. And to tend to this, we apply breath, we send our energy there, we send our focus there, and then notice what kind of holographic impressions appear. It could be a scene from the past, it could be a specific word, it could be a conversation point, it could be anything of this nature that gets trapped in our field. In this book, The Holographic Universe, it talks about how our field, the energy around our body, the thoughts and ideas that circulate in our energy all the time, imprint our body. So it's our field that creates our body. In a sense, it's this etheric strata that we allow surrounding us all the time that then manifests our physical self. It's like the last thing that manifests is our physical self. And so paying attention to where you put your energy out in the world, the groups that you belong to, the conversations around you, and the energy of the data and the concepts and the entertainment that you receive and surround yourself with, because they're all imprinting your field. Whether or not you feel that you are set and sure in your ways like Aquarius energy can be, having this energy circulating around you, it is making an impression on your field in some way or another, and it's way, way before consciousness. It's energy, it's a wave. So paying attention to that kind of thing and how you feel in your body as a reaction to those certain things is it for your highest good? Is it something that can be processed? People say Aquarius energy is detached and cold, but it's like, it's got a really good sense of what is true, and when something isn't true, it just shuts off. But it's not like it doesn't consider that energy. It's not like that doesn't require or doesn't automatically result in a lot of thought processing. And as soon as that thought is in your field, it's circulating, it's in your field of awareness, and so it is part of it's part of the wave that you're emitting, at least in that moment. And that's why Aquarius energy shuts down certain things, because it's like, no, this isn't mine. But questioning whether that information does get stuck in your field, is it something that you still think about even if you have shut it down? So just making awareness that because Aquarius energy has such fast thought and such pervasive thought and such an ongoing level of thought that is quite unconscious, it's just like an automatic thing. It can't help but think. So when we bring awareness to this and when we make this conscious, we can make the choice as to whether this is something that really we want to keep thinking in our field, or if it is something that we can just push out because you can. You can say, this is not in my field of awareness, and push it out. And that deliberate action is what will refine your field. And you can do that to stuff that you've stored, to these fixed ideas that you've absorbed from other people. The choice is yours. It's always yours. So tune into the heart and see what you're carrying that doesn't belong to you. You can send it out. Like you've got the waves as your symbol. Like you are the conductor of the energy from within, and you can put shields up. You can cast things out. You can let that wave release, and then you'll see the magic of your body and how it really is a conductor of energy, and it can attract energy, and it can release energy, it can transmute energy, it can do a whole scope. And when you start to do that and you start vibing at this wave that is really your true authentic frequency, and this whole other spectrum of reality opens up for you, and then you can start really playing. For example, I'll just read you a short paragraph from the book The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. And in this section, it's talking about near-death experiences, and they're describing what their experience was like. So it says, what do near-death experiences look like when they have not constructed a hologram-like body for themselves? Many say that they were not aware of any form and were simply themselves or their mind. Others have more specific impressions and describe themselves as a cloud of colours, or a mist, an energy pattern, or an energy field. Terms that again suggest that we are all ultimately just frequency phenomena, patterns of some unknown vibratory energy enfolded in the greater matrix of the frequency domain. Some near-death experiences assert that in addition to being composed of coloured frequencies of light, we are also constituted out of sound. I realize that each person and thing has its own musical tone range as well as its own colour range, says an Arizona housewife who had a near-death experience during childbirth. If you can imagine yourself effortlessly moving in and out among prismatic rays of light and hearing each person's musical notes join and harmonise with your own when you touch or pass them, you would have some idea of the unseen world, she says. The woman who encountered many individuals in the afterlife realm who manifested only as clouds of colours and sounds believes the mellifluous tones each soul emanates are what people are describing when they say they hear beautiful music in the ND dimension. Now that to me is very 11th house vibe, in the sense that we are individuals as part of a whole harmony, and that's so Aquarian. And that's the kind of thing that we're working with when we talk about extrasensory perception and the capabilities of what we are beyond what we've been taught to believe. So I'm going to leave this video here. I have also done a chart ruler series, and the Aquarius rising video might be of use for you because it talks about tuning to your authentic frequency, and I realize in hindsight those videos don't need to be relative to just the chart ruler. You can watch it for all the signs and all the planets to get an idea. And I hope you found some value in this, and I wish you well.